at the Tokyo Electric, TEPCO, Fukushima number 1 nuclear power plant, number 2 reactor, where the fuel rods have been exposed due to the problem of injecting water into the reactor. The water injection has resumed from 1 a.m., but the water level has yet to rise. Prime Minister Naoto Kan says that in regards to the accident at the Fukushima nuclear plant, the government and Tokyo Electric, TEPCO, have decided to set up a joint task force. Kan says every effort will be made in order to try to contain the damage and impact. The situation still continues to be of concern, but Kan says that he will exert his leadership in order to overcome this crisis. Kan stated to reporters at the Prime Minister's official residence that the number 1 nuclear power plant of TEPCO in Fukushima is undergoing problems with the cooling function, but the government and TEPCO have decided to set up a joint task force to deal with this situation. At the number 2 reactor at the nuclear power plant, around 11 p.m., the valve for releasing pressure gas from the nuclear reactor shut down, leading to the rise of pressure, and the water could not be injected into the reactor. Since then, TEPCO, having seen that the water level had suddenly fallen and all fuel rods were exposed, so from 1 a.m. they started to inject once again the water, having opened the valve and reducing the pressure. But as of 8 a.m., the water had not been risen. This is a TEPCO official that's stating that the pressure level parameters are showing a stable low level. He says that though the water level is low, it is not a situation where there will be an immediate crisis. This is the observation, he says, of the nuclear power plant, and also the company shares the same view. According to TEPCO, the pressure inside the reactor has not risen, and the radiation reading at the boundary of the nuclear power plant site is not changing, as suggesting that there is no immediate danger. Meanwhile, Chief Cabinet Secretary Yukio Edano met with reporters shortly past 5:30 a.m. Edano says that the suppression pool, which is connected to the containment vessel, which is a place where the vapor is converted to water, and there was failure found at this suppression pool. But he says that the radiation reading in the area is not showing any significant rise. Edano says that it is not a situation where it will have implications on the human health, and the readings suggest that there is no situation where it will impact people's health. At the number 2 reactor, there was a case where the seawater could not be injected due to the failure of the pump. But from 6:30 from 6:30 p.m. for 2 hours and 20 minutes, all the fuel rods were fully exposed. But since then, the pump started to be activated, and from 9:30 p.m., the rods were half covered by water. If the exposure were to continue, there is a possibility that the rods may start to melt. Meanwhile, at the number 3 reactor of the same plant, there was a hydrogen explosion at 11:01 a.m. yesterday, but the water has been injected and the situation is stable.